it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys part 2 of my January most anticipated reads for 2021. Now, this is going to include all my favorites, like thrillers, mysteries, horror, and nonfiction. I love me some nonfiction, and I read a ton Did I read a ton this year? I typically read about 10 nonfiction a year, and the ones that I read this year were pretty good. So, with that being said, let's get started. We have 25 books to cover. I will be going through the books that are going to be coming out. So it's going to be in order of release date. All of that information will be on the screen, so that way you can write them down if you so choose to. And yeah, let's get started. So the first one I want to talk about is Bloodline by Jess Laurie, and it is a thriller horror about a pregnant woman who moves to a small town in Minnesota with her fiance and realizes that the town is a little off. It's a little sinister. People are a little strange. She wants to get to the bottom of it. She doesn't really want to be there. That's right up my alley. I mean, I like reading about women having to go back to a small town that's creepy, and I want to know why. I want to know why it's creepy. All right, so that what comes out on the 1st. Another book that comes out on the 1st is called Sweet Water, and this is by Cara Reinard, and it's a thriller mystery that is let me try again. It's a thriller mystery. The main character's name is Sarah, and her life is perfect. Nobody's life is perfect, but she believes her life is perfect. I mean, she's married to her high school sweetheart. Her son is amazing. He's a teen. He's got everything going for him. He's got so much potential. And she lives in a historical mansion. The catch is, one day, she gets a phone call from her most beautiful, perfect son, and he says, you guys need to come quickly. And her husband rushed to his aid, and he is in the woods with his dead girlfriend. Like, he's crying, she's dead, and instead of going to the police, they cover it up because she loves her son oh so much. But then she starts thinking, why did the family, not her, but all of her husband's side of the family, why did they cover it up so easily? Why is her son not experiencing more like, you know, emotional things that go along with just witnessing your dead girlfriend? I want to know what happens. It sounds interesting. So the next set of books come out on January 5th, and the first one is called Black Buck. This is by Matteo Ascaripour, possibly? Poor? I know. Okay, so I wrote, oh my god, I know it's a contemporary. Now, that wasn't part of the list of my normal books that I'm always looking for. This is a contemporary. However, it sounds super interesting. So it's about a lone black salesman, okay? And a mysterious cult-like startup company that he wants to work for. And it's supposed to be satirical and funny. So, yes, it's a contemporary, but it's supposed to be funny. And so it looked, look at the cover, right? It looked colorful and everything. So I'm interested in reading it. The next book that comes out on the 5th is The Push. I like the color. I like the color of this cover. It's purple, I think. This is by Ashley Audrin, maybe? It's a psychological drama about motherhood. And it's unsettling in all aspects. That's what people have said in the comments section, that it's just super unsettling. What I can remember from the synopsis is that the mother has a daughter, and I wanted, like, when I was starting to read this, I was like, is this like a Rosemary's Baby kind of thing? The mom has a daughter, and she doesn't have that loving, affectionate kind of quality. She doesn't have that bond with her daughter, and she kind of hates her daughter, and she wants nothing to do with her daughter. And then a year or so later, she has a son, and she's more loving, more maternal, more everything with the son. and she still doesn't like her daughter. And the daughter, I can't remember if the synopsis said the daughter doesn't like the son either. Or maybe the daughter does. I think she does. Regardless, I'm interested because it sounds creepy. Now, if it's the mom who is being, you know, like aggressive and creepy to the daughter, that would be interesting. But if the daughter turns out to be like the Omen kid, that would also be interesting. Although it's not a horror, so it's a psychological drama. So we'll see what happens. I don't know, but it looks interesting. The next one that comes out on the 5th is called The Butterfly House. Now in 2020, just, you know, a few months ago, I put up my most anticipated reads for this year for the adults, and The Tenant was one of those reads that came out between like January and June. And this is the sequel to that. So this is by Katrin Engberg. This is a Danish author. So this is translated, and I was trying to look on Goodreads. I'm pretty sure that these go together. But it's a mystery crime thriller, and it's set in a Danish hospital. So that sounds cool. The next one for the 5th is To Be Honest. This is a very intriguing nonfiction book by Michael Levitin, and it's a memoir of how he was raised to be 100% transparent. Now, we're always talking about that on media now. Be transparent, tell people all this stuff. But then on the other hand, you can be too truthful. I mean, if I look fat, I don't want people to tell me I look fat. If I'm having a bad hair day, I don't want people to say anything about that. But if I have food stuck in my teeth or a booger, please, please, please tell me, because that is what friends do. You know what I mean? So it's a memoir of how his parents raised him to be truthful, and how that backfires when he's an adult, like at work and with relationships. And I'm just so interested in this man's life. I love memoirs. I don't even care who these people are. They don't have to be famous. I just like hearing other people's stories. It's fascinating to me. So this just is right up my alley. I want to know what happens. Because you can be brutally honest, and people are sometimes okay with that. And sometimes they're like, whoa, buddy, what the hell is the matter with you? Why would you say that? But wouldn't it be like freeing at the same time? Like if I don't want to go to your house because you can't cook well, and you invite me over, and I say, instead of saying, no, I'm busy, which, you know, people can kind of see through that as a lie, but they trying to brush it off. But if you said, no, I'm not really interested in going to your house because you can't cook and I hate your food, that would hurt them, but also maybe make them become a better cook. Or maybe they just won't invite you over anymore. I don't know. But it sounds interesting, right? Right. Okay. The next book that comes out is The Woman Outside My Door. This one sounds creepy. This is by Rachel Ryan. It says that Georgina's 6-year-old son, Cody, meets what she thinks is an imaginary friend at the park. He calls her the new grandma. That sounds so scary. But is he lying? At first she thinks so, and then she doesn't know, and then she thinks maybe she's just losing her mind. Intriguing. Want to read it. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. The next book that comes out on the 5th is called Featherhood, another memoir. It's a memoir of two fathers and a magpie by Charlie Gilmore. Charlie finds a baby magpie that has fallen from its nest outside his house, and decides to take care of it. And the magpie becomes bonded to him, and then he loves the magpie. And at the same time, his father is dying, but his father's estranged. I don't know how you say that word. So he didn't grow up with the dad. The dad left the family when he was really little. And so this, like, caring for this magpie, he starts to have emotional feelings about, like, how to be a father. Like, his dad wasn't a good father, but he wants to reconcile with him before he dies. And then he's also a father, and he feels like he's doing the same thing to his kids, kind of like not necessarily physically abandoning them, but maybe emotionally abandoning them. And so through this bird, he becomes a better dad. And that sounds so fascinating and fun to read. I want to read it. I can't wait. Okay. Those were all the books that came out on the 5th. The next set of books came out on the 12th. Not came out. That would be past tense. They come out, which is future tense. They come out on the 12th. The first one is this book here that I received from Tin Books. I shared this with you guys. This one I need to read. The House of Vespers. This one sounds super duper cool. It starts off in London in 1893, a seamstress jumps out her balcony, and when, you know, people start to investigate, they notice that she has a message stitched into her skin. Yes, please. That's what I want to read. That's due on the 12th. I have to read it, so it's part of my TBR, which I'll be sharing with you guys, because I have one. What? I know. All right, so looking forward to that. The next one is called A Swim in a Pond in the Rain. Another nonfiction. This is from George Saunders. And it's a deep exploration on how to do great writing, or how great writing works. And it uses 6 works, Russian works, to talk about it, like Russian literature. Regardless, this George Saunders guy works at a university, and this is a master class that he teaches, and so he decided to write a book, and I like the cover, and it also will be good for the elemental challenge for Lala's Buzzwordathon for 2021, so I kind of want to buy it because it sounds cool, but also because it will fill a gap that I need. I need to have all these different books to read. I will be going over all those lists as well. Let's continue. All right. The next one that comes out on the 12th is called The Perfect Guests. This is by Emma Rouse. O-U usually says ow, so Rouse maybe. This is a mystery thriller. It's set at Raven Hall, and that's a mansion somewhere. And there's 2 POVs. There's one from 1988. The main character of that one is Beth Soames. And then in 2019, that girl is named Sadie Langton. And they both have to play a game where they are the perfect guest. So they get an alias, they get a set of clothes, they have to go attend this party. But that's all the synopsis says. I don't know what happens. Do they witness a murder? Is it like Clue? Do they end up killing somebody? Is that their position? Do they see something they're not supposed to? Do they get murdered? Are they the ones that are the murdered victim? I don't know. I watched this movie on Netflix where people come together for a party, and some of the people are in on it, and then they start killing the people, and then at the end, it's all nighttime outside, and all these red lights start popping up saying that this party has happened all over the place where these people die. I want to know if it's that kind of party, because that movie was crazy. Next is Before the Ruins, and this is by Victoria Gosling. It's about 4 friends who are spending their summer at a deserted manor. Deserted as in they broke in? I don't know. But then there's this guy that they all know. His name is David, and he is running from the law. But he gets there and he's like, hey, do you guys want to do something super cool? And they're like, we don't really like you. And he's like, I heard that there is a diamond that was hidden here 50 years ago. We totally should go look for it. And then something happens, like people follow him, or maybe there's a killing. I don't know, but it sounds cool. I want to read it. I like when people are looking for things like a treasure. Treasures are always fun to read about. The next one that comes out on the 12th is called Socalled Normal. It's a memoir of family depression and resilience. This is by Mark Hennick. and it's about mental health, and so I want to read it. At one point in the synopsis it says that, and I don't know if this is a trigger, so just be wary. At one point it says that he is on a bridge, and he's from Nova Scotia, and he's on a bridge and he's thinking about jumping when a stranger grabs him. Like, his foot is off of the bridge and the stranger grabs him and saves him, and that was like his turning point, and so he wrote a memoir. I'm interested. Okay, the next one is called Summer Water. One word, Summer Water. And this is by Sarah Moss. It's literary fiction short stories that tell a whole picture of a rainy day in Scotland. I want to read it. It sounds interesting. It's pretty short. I don't know if it's actually short stories, like a collection of short stories, or if it's one story, but there's many POVs. That could possibly be it, but looking forward to that one. And then we have Surrender the Dead, and this is by John Burley. Erin Reese is the main character, and she left her hometown of unexplained disappearances. So lots and lots of people have disappeared. This is a trope that I continue to read over and over again, or at least purchase, because I'm so interested in reading about disappearances. I must have been kidnapped in a past life. Why am I so intrigued by that theme? I don't know. But anyways, when she's old enough, she leaves. And she has to come back because her father's doctor calls her back. He goes, you know, it doesn't say in the synopsis. Maybe he's sick and dying, maybe, you know, something. But the doctor calls, and so she comes back to her old hometown, and nobody wants her to be there. And the town is still very suspicious. Like, everybody blames everybody for the disappearances. And while she's there, a body turns up on her property. Like, it's an old body. And so people are saying, oh, it must be the dad. The dad must be the one who's killing everybody. But her job now is to, like, piece together what really happened to save face for her dad, to, like, be the only one that's looking out for him. So we'll see if he kills all those people, or if she does a good job with finding out clues, because every time you read a book about someone having to find out the truth, they get so close to dying that I wonder if they think maybe I shouldn't have started this to begin with. I don't know. Maybe they should have read more, because it's it's something that happens just over and over and over again in the books that I read. Okay. And yes. Oh, and the very last one that comes out on the 12th is When Brains Dream. Do you like dream books? I've been like borrowing dream books from the library since I was in middle school. That was the last time I actually borrowed a dream book, but I'm always intrigued. I always want to buy them. I have like lists of them on Amazon where I want to buy all these dream books. And yeah, I still haven't done one, but this one looks good. This one explores the science and the mystery of dream. And this is by Antonia Zadra, I think. Okay. And that was the last of the books that come out on the 12th. January 19th is the next set of books. So the first one I have here is called Remote Control. And this is by Neddy Okafor? Neddy Okafor? Possibly. It's about a girl who is adopted by the Angel of Death. And she has a companion animal, which is a fox. And that's really all I want to know about it. But it says that she's searching for answers. Her name is Sankofa. She's searching for answers. She wants to know whatever. But the Angel of Death? Thank you. She gets a companion pet? Yes, please. I want to read it. All right. The next one that comes out on the 19th is In the Garden of Spite. Yeah. I like that one. Camilla Bruce is the author of this book, and it's a historical fiction horror about the widow of Laporte, who is a serial killer. That just checked all the boxes. I want it. I want it. I want it. And we have January 26th. So let's go through those ones. The first one is We Could Be Heroes. This one sounds so fun. It's by Mike Chen, and it says that Jamie wakes up one day in an empty apartment with no memory. So we got the amnesia checkbox there. But he can erase and read people's memories. And then there's another girl, or another person. Her name's Zoe, and she has speed and super strength. So she uses that for Starbucks runs and silly things like that. But they both meet in a memory loss support group. What? What in the hell? Memory loss support group? I want to know all about this. And it's supposed to be funny. I'm so excited. So that comes out on the 26th. Definitely looking forward to that one. And then we have The Mission, another nonfiction. This is a true story. It is David W. Brown. Well, that's the author. It's all about their ambitious project to go to Europa, which is one of Jupiter's moons, because there is water there and they want to find out if there's any life forms. I mean, there probably is. Not like human being kind of life forms, probably like microbes. But, oh my gosh, I love science so much. I'm not smart enough to be in science, work in science, do anything for science, but learning about science, I mean, one of my favorite things, documentary-wise, is science, like the planets, the universe, anything that's on Nova, I've seen. And so, looking forward to reading this one. The next book that comes out on the 26th is wow, why did I say it like that? If I Disappear. This is by Eliza Jane Brazier. Is that the only way you can say it? What's the candle thing? Like the torch. Is that called a brazier, or am I saying it wrong? Because brazier I thought was a bra. Am I stupid? I'm probably stupid. Anyways, this book is a thriller mystery, and it's about a crime podcast host that goes missing, and the main character, Sarah, wants, because she's obsessed with this crime podcast, wants to go and find out what happened. So we have another, like, amateur sleuth going on. Love it, love it, love it. And then there's also another two nonfictions. The first one is called A Black Woman's History of the United States by Diana Berry and Callie Gross. This says it's number 4, so this must be something that's like part of a series of historical something or others. But this is spanning 400 years, showing the expansive contribution Black women have made in the United States. Fascinating. I just got done teaching my child, because he's pretty much homeschooled right now. I mean, he does go to, like, he has distance learning with his teachers, but he just barely pays attention to them. And then so I end up having to do all of his homework with him. So I have to read everything, all of the articles with him, watch all of the videos with him. And so I've been very, very interested in the history of the United States. Like, we just went through all of the not the Civil Wars, excuse me, the American Revolution. I learned about Shays' Rebellion, all about how, the colonies started with the Constitution. I learned all of that. Now, of course, I learned all this when I was little, but you don't remember things when you're little. Like, you're in a fog, in a haze when you're small. You're thinking about candy and playing, and you don't focus on anything important. Or at least I didn't. And so, as an adult, this is very fascinating. So I want to learn all I can about the United States, because our history is so short. Like, everybody else has thousands and thousands of years, and we have 200 years. So I'm interested in knowing more about the American history, and this is a perfect opportunity to learn more about Black women and what they've accomplished, and things that we don't learn in media, in books, in school, things that they've left out on purpose, which is annoying. So I want to read it. Okay, and then we have Chatter, The Voice in Our Head, Why It Matters, and How to Harness It by Ethan Cross. I love this. I love this. It explores silent conversations that we have with ourselves and why it's important to know the difference between encouraging inner voices and negative inner voices where they're like, you suck, you'll never make it, how you have to tamper down those ones and really allow the like the angel and the devil, let the angel really speak to you, you know? And I thought that this would be great to read because I talk to myself constantly. I feel like Alice in Wonderland when she goes, I give myself good advice. I think I do that same thing to myself. But I have a teenage son who is dealing with self-doubt and what life means, and he's very, very philosophical at the moment. That comes with puberty and being a teenager. And so I figured I would read this first and see if it's, you know, something that will help him, and then I'll pass it along. But definitely looking forward to that. And then the last one that comes out on the 26th is the Copenhagen Trilogy. So it's 3 small short stories because it's not a very long book. It's by a Danish author. It's her memoir. It's Tove Ditlevsen, maybe. The 3 books are called Childhood, Youth, and Dependency. So there is, like, she had like a bad childhood, and there was some like drug or alcohol dependency. It talks about like abortion and drug abuse and motherhood and all of this other stuff. I'm interested in reading that. And the very last date is the 31st of January. And let's see. I only have one for that, and it's called A Dowry of Blood. It's a good way to end this video. This is by S.T. Gibson. It's a horror fantasy with LGBT in it, and it's about the Brides of Dracula. So it's a reimagining of the Brides of Dracula, and I absolutely want to read that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I went through everything. That was 25 books that sound very good that are coming out in January for adults. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative and you guys have a little bit more insight on what's coming out and what you want to look for. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching part 2 in my most anticipated reads video for January 2021. I hope you guys are doing well. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. When you're watching this, it will be New Year's Eve. So Happy New Year's. And I will see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!